The interesting thing about musicians, and I give lectures about the unique treatment needs of musicians, and one of my lectures, my first slide, is musicians are people too. And so they do all the same foolish things that we do, such as texting and stepping off a curb wrong. They fall off of bicycles, they snow ski, they fall off of horses, they do everything imaginable that we all do. I mean, anything you can think of that any of us do and suffer as injuries, musicians do as well. Furthermore, they're often, they're touring out of vans, out of buses, out of so forth. They're lugging their amps around, so they can exacerbate mild underlying conditions that the rest of us, maybe working desk jobs or something, might not even have symptoms for. Thirdly, they have these massively increased risks for overuse injuries. The number of bow strokes that a violinist has to engage just to play one violin concerto is 20,000 bow strokes. And so then you say, okay, well, how does that relate to professional athletes? Well, they are professional athletes. They're just athletes who are at maximum intensely high numbers of repetitions, but at sub-maximal effort. Meaning they're not trying to, well, some of them are trying to go as fast as possible, but they're not trying to jump higher. They're not trying to sprint faster. They're not trying to throw the ball harder or farther. They are using in a sub-maximal way, but infinitely more repetitions than a professional athlete would, for instance. So they are subject to the overuse, such as rotator cuff tears, such as tennis elbow, such as tendonitis, such as muscle tendon strains. The problem is that many of us can sustain an orthopedic shoulder, elbow, and hand problem, even a bad one. And as long as we can retain some reasonable hand function, some reasonable shoulder motion, some reasonable elbow motion, we can do everything we need to do. Everything, including most of the recreation. A musician, however, very often, if they can't perform at 100% at the highest level, then they are done. They're done because there are 10 more incredibly world-class people right behind them who will gladly, not maliciously, but gladly take their spot in the orchestra, in the pit, on the tour, whatever it is. And so that's why it's so critical to get them back to as close to 100% as they can be. Now, they can adjust in certain ways, but very rarely can they get back to where they want to be unless they get the highest level of recovery.